Hey everybody, welcome back to Creative Differences. I'm Jarrett, and I'm here with Humza, and we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, I'm Humza, everybody. How you guys doing? Today was the big old PlayStation 5 showcase, and we're going to be talking about what games were shown and just general impressions on said games.
Yeah. It was about a 45-minute live stream. They opened with Final Fantasy 16, which we talked about last week, because it leaked, and I was like, they have like a whole other game to finish.
Are they just not gonna do Final Fantasy 7 Part 2?
Well, the thing is that they have 3 teams at Square that
Really?
do this stuff. So like
one for each Keyblade.
One is the Kingdom Hearts team. Mm-hmm. The other is doing Final Fantasy 7, and this one is doing 16. This is produced by the guy that brought the MMO back to life after it failed miserably.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So
let's talk about revitalizing a series.
Yeah. So this one seems to be a little bit more medieval, like we're going back, because 15 was very much in that, like, 13, things are getting a little bit more futuristic and stuff, but this one seems very medieval. It also seems much more mature and violent and bloody than any Final Fantasy game I've ever played.
I could have been fooled. It looks almost like a Devil May Cry series.
The I think I gotta leave that in, right?
Yeah, you gotta leave that in.
Humza's cat burst into my room where we record the podcast.
Can you say hi, puppy?
What'd you think about PS5?
Nothing.
He's an Xbox fan. Yeah, we're leaving that in.
Absolutely.
So it's Final Fantasy 16. Like, once I heard the Final Fantasy theme, I was like, oh, it's happening, because it plays for like a good 2 seconds before the trailer starts, and I was like,
when it starts, I was like, oh, this is some anime boy bullshit. I think it's Final Fantasy, but it might not be. And then I saw like a bunch of chocobos running around, and I was like, oh, this is some fucking Final Fantasy shit. But
it definitely feels like Witcher vibes almost.
Oh yeah, the aesthetic.
It's like so much more medieval than it has been in a really long time.
Absolutely, the game looks very pretty too.
We're definitely not going in order with these announcements. I'm looking at an IGN article. I'm pretty sure it's out of order, and it's highlighting the big stuff first. But we can talk about Spider-Man now.
What was after? I think it was Spider-Man.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they had a bunch of demos and shit.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man, Miles Morales, we were given a bit of a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, the first gameplay.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with the lighting and like the way that like the ground looked with like reflections.
There were so many physics elements there because it showcased like a bridge falling apart. So all the cars and just like the concrete and the cables and Spider-Man flinging around. It was really cool. Miles, rather.
It's definitely like you can see why it's $50, like it's not a full game, but you can see how much it's improved since the original Spider-Man came out 2 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It starts out with Miles like walking with Ned, and I was like, oh, it's just some more walking around bullshit.
Is it Ned, or is it? I don't remember what his friend's name is.
But it's that character of just being Miles' like friend.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because I love Miles Morales as a character, and I think this game looks so good. It's doing him well.
Yeah, the bad guy is like 2 different factions. It looks like. There's still military police in New York, which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah. It's very, very topical.
Yeah, like I don't know what's going on in Spider-Man New York, and I don't know where Peter is either.
No. What was the name of like one of the villains' factions leaders?
I don't remember.
Was it like Tinkerer?
Yeah, something like that. That was the purple guys. It's purple guys versus red guys this time.
They both got like laser shit.
Yeah.
Both like really cool tech shit. But
well, I guess that makes sense. You can't go back after what happened in the first game. Like, there's so many different factions of bad guys running around, and They like went into martial law for a hot minute. Like
They
things are messed up in the Spider-Man world right now.
Yeah, a virus taking over New York.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, no, I think the game looked very like graphically outstanding, and it looks very similar to Spider-Man gameplay. So
Makes me wonder how long it is.
Yeah.
I would say it's like anywhere from between 10 and 15 hours.
Yeah, definitely shorter. I'm curious to see how big the map is as well. I don't think it'll be as big as Spider-Man, but certainly of the same caliber at least.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder, because I guess we can talk about it now, but one of the big things that they showed off that wasn't necessarily a game, but they have finally answered Game Pass.
Yes.
With the PlayStation Plus collection, which, from my understanding, will come with your subscription.
It will.
But it's just a handful of very good PS4 titles that you can play.
Yeah.
But the original Spider-Man game is not one of them.
No.
As far as we know right now.
It may be later,
Yeah.
but it just currently isn't. But
so,
a whole bunch of other big boys.
That's kind of, after we talk about all these games, that's something I want to talk about is backwards compatibility, because that's what I'm still very confused about when it comes to these consoles.
Well, let's clear that up.
Moving on, we finally, after like 3 years ago when it leaked, the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy game has been announced officially, coming next year.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate time for them as the creators of the game.
This game also seems to be as far from J.K. Rowling as possible.
And they need it to be at this point.
Yeah.
It looks very interesting. I'm not entirely sure what kind of game it is, though. Like, it's an RPG, obviously, but is it
an MMO?
Yeah, because it really feels like it should be.
I don't know if it has, like, multiplayer.
Yeah,
but
they haven't really said that much about it.
It seems just like an open world RPG.
Mm-hmm.
One of the features is actually that when you start up, you have to put in your birth certificate.
Wait, what?
You have to prove your gender for this game.
Wait, you're making a bit. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm doing a bit. You have to prove that you are the gender on your birth certificate, because that's what J.K. Rowling wants.
It makes me think, like, are you going through, like, the years, or are you just kind of, like, is it a set story? Like, how does this game work? And if it is an MMO, I want to see how they're going to justify people to keep playing it. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
We are having more cat issues.
Get the fuck out of here. I love you.
The issue is that my door just doesn't close, so he can just use his fat head to push it open.
He just wants attention.
Yeah.
A little baby.
But the game, like, graphically looked very stylized.
Yeah.
I'm pretty okay with the way that it looks.
I just need to see more.
Yeah.
This trailer was very, like, it was interesting, but underwhelming. Like, it almost looks, dare I say, lame, just because I didn't like the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know, there's such little things you could do to be interesting with Harry Potter.
Yeah, and it's making an original story set in the 1800s, so it's like, it's doing its own thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that thing is cool yet, because they haven't really talked about it.
No, I want to see more shit from it. But, yeah, moving on from that, the next thing that was shown off was more Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah, we got to look at a campaign mission where you are infiltrating and trying to assassinate someone involved with the Iran hostage crisis, but it's not political.
It doesn't... I don't get it. How is it not political? I wish that they would lean into it more. That would be way more interesting if Call of Duty was like, fuck it, you have to assassinate the fucking president of Iran, because that's what you're doing. And I don't know, man. But the gameplay just seemed like more Call of Duty shit, honestly. Like the campaigns are very, like, hard to differentiate from themselves. I think that the game graphically looks great.
Yeah, graphically I was very impressed, but other than that, I'm really not that interested. They also announced that I think on Friday you can play the multiplayer beta on your PS4 for free.
Yeah.
It's 25 gigabytes, which is surprising considering that their other game is like 4,000.
Yeah, it's 220 gigabytes. Microsoft Flight Simulator is like 190. It's not anywhere near that, but it's a lot. But yeah, I don't know. Call of Duty, it's just another Call of Duty game.
Yeah, it's launching on last gen and this gen, and I'm interested to see what the comparison looks like overall.
Yeah.
We're back with Boo.
Guest star Boo.
He is a staunch defender of Call of Duty and buys every game.
He's like, my favorite one was Ghost. But yeah.
Moving on, we finally. I was like vibrating when I heard like Chris's voice.
Oh yeah.
We finally got another look at Resident Evil Village.
Yes.
And it's definitely a different direction. I feel they're definitely trying something new.
It seems to be a mix of 7's formula of being that first person, definitely more horror aspect, but this one seems to be as mixed with that, but also some very creative horror decisions. This game looks fucking scary.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see more of it later this month at Tokyo Game Show. Maybe some gameplay.
Capcom is on a hot streak right now.
Yeah. They had 2 games at this showcase we'll get into.
They did. But yeah, Resident Evil 8 Village looks really good.
Coming 2021.
2021.
Seems to be a continuation of 7, but also feels like it's getting back into its roots as a series of, getting more monsters involved with like these werewolves and
just dare I say goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy shit.
I think I was telling you this a while ago, but from an interview that I read when they announced the game a couple months back, they said that like Chris isn't the only character that's returning.
Oh.
So I'm hoping that we'll finally be able to see our boy Leon for the first time in like 10 years.
Dude, that'd be fucking hype. I'd be all over that.
Yeah.
Be all over him. Ooh.
And then continuing with my like hype vibration, we got another look at Deathloop coming Q2 next year. And
it looks so good.
This gameplay sequence of just how you can, manipulate the targets so that they're in the same place at the same time, because you only have 24 hours to kill 8 people and not die yourself. So it's like all of these choices and just getting like this game is going to be a lot bigger than I think a lot of people make it out to be right now.
I'm so excited to see community involvement with it. I'm excited to see people's speedruns. I'm excited to see people's, like, just what they can come up with, and how far you can go. And replayability is, the name of the game.
Yeah.
It looks great. There's also multiplayer.
Yeah. That's what I want to touch on. Going forward, before this game comes out, I want to see more about what it's like to play from the other perspective.
Oh, of, like, from the other assassin?
Yeah. Because
like
from what I understand, you just get to pick. Like, it's a mode. Like, do you want to be Colt or do you want to be... I can't remember her name, but I know it starts with a J. And then if you're playing as the girl, you're just going into other people's sessions.
Yeah. Like, it's a multiplayer type of thing. But, yeah, no, this game is so creatively... It's just so interesting.
It's like, why I love games. Like, this is the kind of game that... Like it's my kind of game,
Absolutely.
It hits all the buttons for me.
It's so aesthetically pleasing, but also so aesthetically like inspiring. I loved the characters that they showed off in this one for the targets.
Yeah.
Because they had really cool like locations, and it seemed like the weapons they were showing off looked really cool.
The power system's really cool that they're kind of bringing over from Dishonored.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
I think this will be a really good game. It's coming out probably later 2021.
Yeah.
Probably around
March, April.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then we got another look. Well, not another look, but Devil May Cry 5 is back again with Virgil, finally. Everyone's been asking for that Virgil DLC since the game launched, and it's finally coming out. And on launch, actually.
Yeah.
On launch date for the PS5, you'll be able to play the Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. I believe if you have it already, it's a free upgrade too.
Oh, that's sick.
And it's coming out with a new difficulty setting, 60 FPS gameplay, enhanced graphics. Like it's a really good package and probably would get me to play the game again.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like they have a new difficulty mode, Legendary Dark Knight. Devil May Cry was a very fun game, and I think having more expansion shit would be really cool.
Yeah.
And Virgil's sick.
Yeah. Then we got another look at the new Oddworld game, Oddsworld Soulstorm. They added an S in there.
They did.
Oh no, that's just a typo from IGN.
Oh.
Those games, I only played one on the PS2 like way back, but if you've ever played like Lemmings, it's kind of the same game where you're leading, your group, and the goal is to not get them killed.
Yeah.
From level to level.
Just platform puzzle type game. That seems very like it seems almost like kid game, but very like mature.
No, yeah, these games have always been like very much like I don't know why, but they feel like if they would be like an Adult Swim series. Because it deals with like capitalism and like discrimination against the other race of aliens. I'm not as familiar as the series as I think I should be, because it's a very famous series, but it's interesting that in 2020 it's back,
Yeah, no, I think that this game looks really interesting. What the fuck? Yeah, no, it looks really cool. The graphics look great. Very, very interesting. I remember the first trailer that came out for it was pretty scary.
Yeah.
And speaking about scary stuff, we got another Five Nights at Freddy's game called Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which seems to be...
How many are there now? Like, I'm so far removed from my understanding of that series.
This is like 6 or 7. This is... Or maybe even like 5. I don't even know, dude. But I remember it getting to like 4 when Matt Pat was still doing those videos. But,
this guy must have a ton of money.
Oh, I'm sure, dude. I'm sure he's kicking it, because all he did was make a jump scare the game.
Yeah.
Pretty easy, formula. But yeah, another one of those games.
Wasn't there like a movie deal that was supposed to happen a while ago, and it just hasn't yet?
There was. Just no word on that, but I remember that happening. Like, I remember being like, oh, there's gonna be a Five Nights movie that I won't watch.
Yeah.
But continuing off of scary stuff, we got more Demon Souls.
Yeah, and we were right. All those leaks were right. It's a launch title, but they did not mention this at the conference, or the live stream. I mean, it's not a conference anymore. We don't do that right now.
Yeah.
It is a $70 game.
Yes.
When we first talked about $70 games a couple of weeks ago, when we were talking about 2K, I was very much of the stance of, nah, it's not gonna happen. This is not a new industry standard.
Because people have talked about that forever. People have always been like, oh, $70 is gonna be the new, main price title.
But here we are. This game will be $70. Nearly $100 if you live in Europe.
Oh, yeah, 80.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, makes sense because it's a fully rebuilt game. It's
it's just like, we're going into a new next generation. Games cost so much to make now. Studios are putting tons of money into how they make games.
Sorry. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's just like it's gonna take some getting used to, and it's gonna be a barrier for a lot of people.
It's gonna make me think harder on like buying a game.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna make me like really think about my decisions, just because it's not that steep of an increase. It's only $10 extra, but it makes it so much more expensive.
Yeah. It's not something that I could see myself buying a lot of games ever. No. I'm gonna be more selective in the games that I play.
Absolutely. I'm hoping that there's more price differences.
Yeah, because
that inspires other games to be cheaper.
Yeah, we can talk about that once we get through all the games, because the launch games do have varying prices that we can talk about. But we got a new look at Fortnite on
fucking
PS5.
Fortnite.
It's a launch.
I fucking love Fortnite.
It's right there. It's Fortnite. It honestly, if it did not look that different. It'll look different when they get it on Unreal 5, but we're not getting that for like at least another year.
They're not allowed to.
It's just not done yet.
Yeah.
Then they talked about the PS Plus collection. Which is an amazing collection of PS4 games that if you haven't already played, now is the perfect time to do it on your new PS5 at no extra cost, because I'm pretty sure you can pay $60 for a year of PS Plus, and that'll come with it. I'm sure if you buy a PlayStation 5, you're going to get like a week trial anyway, or a month.
Yeah.
And if you can't afford Demon Souls, you can play God of War and Bloodborne and Persona 5 and Last of Us and Resident Evil, Until Dawn, Infamous. Like, it's everything.
Very good library selection. I think that this is a very good idea. I want to see more titles. I want to see better like upscales for said games. I want to see what like the quality, if there's any dips.
I would like to see a version of this where I just pay for that.
Oh yeah.
Instead of the whole like I don't need online, and I don't need like cloud saves. I mean, I kind of do. I'll need it for like when I'm getting all of my shit from my PS4, which I'll get into later because I have a lot of questions about that. But if I can just pay like $20 a month or however much it is, I hope it's not 20, but just for that collection, I think I'd be okay.
Like a PlayStation Game Pass. I think that idea is really good.
And I kind of realized that I also just own most of those games anyway.
Oh yeah.
But we can talk about one last game that set me over the edge. Like, I audibly gasped when I saw it.
I didn't expect it at all.
I didn't either. I had it, like, when he said, like, oh, one more thing, I was like, maybe, but I doubt it.
Knack 3, baby!
We are getting God of War Ragnarok, the sequel to God of War, coming next year.
Next year!
Which makes sense because they've been working on it since 2018.
I expected it to be announced like next year.
Yeah, me too. Like, I was like, they're just gonna give us they're gonna wait and really blow us away like next year.
Yeah.
But it's coming.
I'm coming. That's how fucking cool this shit was.
Yeah.
It's literally just the logo.
Yeah, they did an Elder Scrolls 6, but this is much closer than that game.
But there's an actual game.
Yeah.
Santa Monica also changed their logo.
Yeah, it's blue now.
It's blue, which looks great. Very exciting. Mm-hmm. This is a game that I knew was going to happen, and I'm very happy that it's been released or announced now. Very excited.
Yeah.
Now let's get on to the juicy part of this stage.
The business.
Let's talk about some numbers. We got dollar signs, and we got that weird E that's for the Europeans.
So, when we talked about when we saw the console get announced, I said there's probably going to be at least a $50 to $100 difference between the two.
Yeah.
And we were right, but where the difference between these consoles and the new Xboxes are, the Xbox S is a weaker console compared to the X.
Yes.
It does not have it's slower RAM speed than the Xbox One X, and it won't run your Xbox One X upscaled games the same way that your Xbox One X does. I fucking hate these names.
I don't think you get, because if you I hate the headline article because it's like, if you backwards compatible for the Xbox Series S, you get the Xbox One S quality instead of the Xbox One X quality. I hate it. Like, it makes sense.
In a nutshell, the S is a weaker console overall, and that's why it's $300, which is totally fine because it's a great deal for people who are getting into games.
It's an intro box.
Yeah. As opposed to the two PS5s, where the only difference is the optical drive. There is no disc drive on the digital version, and that cost $400.
Yeah.
The disc drive cost $500.
Yeah.
And it launches on November 12th in a bunch of countries, and then November 19th in all the other countries.
Yes.
Which is very close to the Xbox. The Xbox is the 10th.
Oh, okay.
And
so that same weekend.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, going in, I was always eyeing the digital version. My digital library of PS4 games is much bigger than my physical library.
Yes.
But they have not explained how this is going to work. Am I just fucked with my physical games if I buy the digital version? Do I just not have those anymore?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I have all of the Kingdom Hearts games physical.
You technically have those downloaded too, like, because
I have the game saves, you know, but is that gonna be enough for them to warrant a digital license? You know?
Oh yeah. Because if you want it backwards compatible, those bad boys, but you don't have the disc drive for it, will it be able to run it?
Yeah, and they haven't even said if you can just put your PS4 disc in a PS5 yet. They haven't even clarified that much.
And that's okay. They'll get to that. We'll find out at some point.
In the coming months, that's something that I'm really going to be looking out for because I think I talked about it last week, but I'm buying a 3080 tomorrow.
Oh, yeah? You excited?
Yeah, hopefully. Like, I got to wake up for it, and I'm going to have, like, my phone and my fucking computer going. But
you got your fucking... Yeah. That's nice, though. That's cool.
After that, my next upgrade was either going to be a monitor or PS5.
Oh.
And now I'm like, depending on how available this thing is, around Black Friday and stuff, I'm interested in picking one up now, because that $399 price point is kind of perfect.
Oh, it's great. It's still a no, though. Like, this is locked in a no for me, because I don't need it. I don't really have the desire for it. The library is impressive and the technology is impressive, but I just don't really have the incentive right now. There's not a whole lot of, like, because for the games that I want for the next a year and a half, I'm not really interested on like PS5, or rather they're not coming to PS5. They're mainly PC games, and that's just like Cyberpunk and Halo and stuff. But it's just a point of, like, this game, the console will always be there.
Yeah.
Whether or not they have it in stock by the end of the year, just because of pre-orders and how lucrative this is of a deal. I think it's a very affordable option. I was very impressed that both of them were under 500. That's what I was hoping for, or not, rather, that they're under 500. But no, I just think that, like, I don't really need nor want it right now. If something comes out that gets my interest, like, maybe, but right now it's a no.
Yeah.
I'll keep my PS4 for a while.
I'm honestly in the same boat, I'm spending a lot on my PS5 or my PC upgrade into next gen, and that will carry me for until all of the games that I want for the PS5 come out.
Absolutely.
Because I just pulled it up. The launch games from first party PS5 are Destruction All-Stars. Have they even announced that game?
I think that's the battle.
Is that the
Royale.
car? Okay.
It's the battle royale game where you're like a car in a destruction derby and you can hop out and shoot people.
Marvel's Spider-Man.
Miles Morales.
Yeah. Astro's Playroom comes pre-installed, but no one's gonna play that.
That's baby game.
It just literally it shows you all the features of the DualSense.
It's like a tutorial for the console.
Demon Souls and Sackboy's Big Adventure.
Nice. What about Devil May Cry?
Yeah, this is a first party.
Oh.
So that's not getting into like Cyberpunk, Fortnite, Rainbow Six, Assassin's Creed.
You're right.
All of those games. I'm sure as we get closer, we'll have a more concrete list of every game that you can play at launch.
Yeah,
But
I will probably pick up the PS5 when God of War Ragnarok comes out.
You think?
That's what I think I'll do. Because I wasn't really going to get it until that game was announced, and now that it's coming out next year, probably holiday 21, that'll probably be the time to pick it up.
Yeah.
Because that's the game that's like, it deserves to have a game that, or a console that can run it well and a setup that's really nice.
Now, let me ask you, which version?
Oh, digital.
You think
so?
I
don't really have a need for the discs.
You have even less physical games than I do.
Yeah, I don't have any except for our red box Jedi Fallen Order that I can't get rid of.
I have Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami 1, all of Kingdom Hearts. Let's see, Ni no Kuni, Dark Souls 3, God of War, and Dragon Age. It looks like I can't see. But,
dude, nice. You got a whole stack.
If I'm fucked on those games, that's gonna suck.
That would suck, man.
I mean, I could always just sell them, but like, I like those games.
No. You want the box?
Yeah.
I think that the digital one is just more appealing because I don't have Blu-rays or anything.
Yeah.
But
it's the way that this industry is going, and that's why there's two different. Each company has two different versions.
Yeah, there's just consumer preference. If you would like to keep your physical copies and you want to collect them and you want to have them up on shelves, that's going to still be allowed for a while.
Yeah. Physical games are where you're going to see a lot of resale. You're going to be able to get games cheaper overall. That's just a fact.
Yeah. I'm glad that they didn't do an Apple, and PlayStation has allowed for the option of whether or not you want the disc drive. Like, they weren't like, you either have it or you don't, you know, like there's two options, which I appreciate because that allows for just, again, consumer preference.
I will say this launch lineup is much better than the PS5 because or the PS4 rather, because you're getting, the PS Plus collection, you're getting a ton of third-party games. Granted, you've already played those games most likely, but and then you're getting some really cool first-party stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Within, the 3 months of the holiday launch. November,
Yeah.
December.
Yeah, it's quite the nice roster to start off the launch for it.
Yeah, and I'm definitely probably as you've explained your reasoning, I'm more likely not gonna get this at launch. I definitely am interested in seeing performances, and because like the 3080 cards embargo review just went up, so
great.
I've been looking at all the
Benchmarks look all okay.
It's an upgrade.
Absolutely. It's like a 50% upgrade on like
especially
everything.
for me because I'm coming from a 1060.
Yeah, absolutely. A whole 2 generations now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So the interesting thing is that I don't know about Destruction All-Stars. I would assume that's a $60 game, if not less.
Probably, yeah.
Miles Morales Spider-Man is $50, and then a $70 Ultimate version.
Which I don't know what that comes with.
Does that just come with the old Spider-Man game? Like, I don't understand. They haven't clarified that.
Is there DLC for this DLC?
Yeah. Demon's Souls is $70, like we talked about.
It's a lot for a game.
I think Sackboy is like $60 or $50. I honestly don't think it's like a $70 game.
I don't want to pay $60 for Sackboy. I'm sorry. But...
Yeah. I think what's interesting is that they also, if you're planning on getting a PS5, you have like 8 hours to come up with the money. The pre-orders literally go live tomorrow.
Oh, really?
It's gonna sell out, and if you don't do it tomorrow, you're fucked.
Yeah.
At least with Microsoft, you can finance it. It was like $24 a month for the S and like $30 for the X.
That's right. What's the interest rates on those? You gotta be. Phil Spencer's gonna come to your house with The Sopranos if you're not keeping up with your Xbox payments.
But yeah, if you don't, I really think that was kind of a dick move. I think they should have at least given us a couple of weeks for people to, get the money together to be able to afford their box. But I understand why they're doing it now, because it creates a limited supply and it's business, money.
There's always going to be a limited supply of consoles at launch, which is always why I think it's better to get it later, because they'll always be there.
Yeah, once we get over this next probably 6 months, I would say.
Yeah.
You'll start to see them regularly in stores.
Yeah, they'll be in popular supply. Now, whether or not actual people continue to buy them and they're as prevalent as much as a PlayStation 4 is, that'll take some time.
Yeah, it is gonna make me wonder what is the PS4 gonna turn into a $50 console immediately when these things come out.
Dang.
Because that happened to the Wii.
Yeah, it did.
Once it was Wii U time, and then the next generation of the other two came out, it was that thing was $20.
Yeah, once the Switch came out, it was discontinued.
Yeah,
at that point, it had been long discontinued. But yeah,
there's another point that they did not mention in the show or the live stream, whatever. Spider-Man, Sackboy, and Horizon 2 are launching on PS4 as well.
Oh, that's great.
But I have an issue with that.
Yeah?
I understand why they're doing it from a business perspective.
Yeah.
But why, in their last show, why would they hype up Horizon 2 the way that they did when they're also making them make sure that it runs on a 7-year-old piece of shit hardware?
Oh, jeez.
My expectations for that game have been severely leveled because of that.
Yeah, because now they're having to, make sure that it's good enough to run on that. Yeah. Very, very, very interesting decision to make.
I'm not a huge fan of Horizon anyway.
No.
I was interested in seeing what they could do to improve on 2, but now that they're making it run on the old console, I don't care.
So Miles Morales is coming to PS4?
Yes.
All right, then I'm not getting it
Not
for
at
PS5.
launch, I think.
Not at
I think it's a little bit after, but yes.
That's fine. I just won't see any spoilers.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
I honestly, it's cool that we can play that on PS4 because I kind of fully expected this. I felt like that they would do it anyway.
That'll probably be my last PS4 game then.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be Ghost of Tsushima, but
that's the thing. If I buy it on my PS4, can I upgrade later for free?
Oh, like Miles?
Can I play that game away? Can I play that game again when I get my PS5?
Oh, good.
These are the questions that I need to be answered before I actually buy this thing, because backwards compatibility is something that I think should just be a thing.
Do I need to have the PlayStation Plus backwards compatibility in order to play the games that I already have on the PS4, such as God of War?
Yeah,
will I be able to play those on the PS5?
It's just at this point in time, like the way that the tech works, and all of the money that I've put into this hobby, I want to be able to keep all this shit I bought.
Yeah, absolutely.
With no stupid costs either.
I don't want any paywall barriers stopping me from playing the games that I like.
And I think Xbox has done a better job at clarifying these things, but it's also kind of confusing too.
Yeah, it's very like frictionless though. It's like because what it was that if you simply owned it on the Xbox One, you would just have it on the X. If it was like also on the X, but most of the games were, so like.
And there's also no games that they gotta worry about doing that right now.
No, it makes it easier though if you're buying it makes it easier to not buy Destiny like 3 times.
Yeah.
If you just have it. But a lot of these games are now coming out with like upgrades, and it makes me think that like, are they just gonna be locked behind some sort of upgrade feature? I don't even know, man. Lots of questions.
Yeah, because like, look at Cyberpunk, right? They've already said that if you buy it on the old consoles, you get it on the new consoles for free. But how does that work if you bought a physical version for your PS4 and you have a digital PS5?
I don't know.
They really need to clarify this because it's gonna fuck over a lot of people.
Yeah, people will be angry too if it like blindsides everyone of like, what the fuck you mean I don't have that game anymore?
Because I hate to break it to everybody, but even if you own the physical game, you don't own the game anymore. That's just not how this shit works. You own a physical license to that game, but by no means do you own that game.
It sucks because you have to go through the process of like downloading a lot of it if you have a physical game. Like you plug it in and then you download shit, and then it's like, I don't know.
The only difference at this point is that you can sell your physical license to the game that you don't own.
Yeah. It just makes it easier to buy it digitally now, especially now that like I'm an adult and I can like afford to.
Yeah.
And there are enough sales.
Yeah, there are definitely sales, but like I said, you're ultimately gonna get cheaper physical games. That's just how it works.
Yeah. We didn't get any UI. Or
I saw like a rumor that we might get a look at that, but we did not.
I feel like that should get its own like little like short video. Or something.
That'll come closer as they start sending out review consoles and stuff like that.
Makes me wonder like how early did we see the PS4 UI?
I don't even remember. I was a little baby.
Yeah, I don't remember anything like that. I don't remember what like the first one looked like.
All I remember being 12 when that thing came out was like, I didn't even care.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I literally didn't care.
Yeah, I was like, because there would be games that people would be playing and it would kick them out to the dashboard, and that was the time I'd be like, oh, that's what that looks like. Just because, you never really see the UI.
Yeah, like, I was so unaware of games back then, like, a generation ago. Like, now I am so plugged in to what every company is doing and what every game is coming out and, like, how bad this game is and how good that game is.
Oh, God, yeah. It's like, my Twitter has changed since then. Like, it's become there's so much more business to games than, like, enjoying video games, if that makes sense. Like, there's way more interest in, like, oh, here are the business decisions that these giant corporations are making and these developer studios are doing. But
it's definitely, like, it's been a very big transition for me because I love games, I
love video games.
Video games are the fucking best.
I'll always play video games, even when I'm like 80. We'll be playing like Smash and shit.
And it's been an interesting way. Like, I've looked back on it now that we're on the heels of a new generation of like how much I've gotten more involved with the industry and how much I appreciate it, and just like the warm fuzzies I got from watching this thing. And like every year at Game Awards I get like it's just like it's my life at this point.
It's like a childhood whimsicality.
Yeah.
And when you really find a game that you enjoy and you find a community that enjoys it with you, it's something special. And even though I'm not buying this console at launch, I'm very hopeful and I'm very excited to see the future of games on both of these consoles.
I'm very interested to see how this all plays out because we are in some very strange times right now. Everything is changing. Tech is getting so much better when you look at PC, the new Xbox, the new PlayStation. Like, we are about to get into like the best games have ever been.
Yeah, one of the things that I noticed with the Demon's Souls demo was it did the same thing that the Ratchet and Clank one did, where you were like able to teleport like immediately to a whole different location. And I was like, I feel like even with the PS4, there are things that I do that are so fast and so intuitive that I could have never dreamed that next gen games would work like that. You know, it's so nice. Gaming is only going to get better from here.
And you know, gamings have only been around in the way that they are now for about 40 years.
Yeah.
You know, as we're celebrating Mario's 35th anniversary, the thing that fucking started all of this.
Yeah.
It's like it's a very interesting thing to look back on, and I think Jeff Keighley has got some good stuff planned in that vein for the Game Awards this year.
Absolutely. It's going to be a real special one. Very excited. We're going to watch it. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Boys' night.
Boys' night at the Game Awards. I'm not sure what the future is, though. There's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow, but it's not a Nintendo Direct. It's like the partner one.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm not sure what I'm going to see there. You know, I think we can talk a little bit about Tokyo Game Show when that happens, but I don't know what's next in terms of like big news. Like I think I would imagine we would see like one more from each of these companies, but I doubt it. Like
we'll see some pre-launch stuff in late October, early November, just to like hype up the launch, but I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot of like new shit coming out. Like, I don't think we'll see.
You know, we're getting closer to Cyberpunk 2. You know, that's gonna be a big thing for both of us, for everybody. I think like
for all gamers.
The Cyberpunk is probably gonna be a game changer in terms of like RPGs, and
I don't know anyone that plays video games that like isn't excited and not going to, and like I don't know anyone that isn't going to buy that game.
They're about to make so much
They're
fucking
gonna make
money.
so much fucking money. There was that studio that worked with 3D or worked with CD Projekt Red that was making some space game that looked really cool. I think it's called like The Invincible.
Yeah, it's another Polish studio.
Yeah. That game looked really sick.
Yeah.
Like the pictures look really cool. But yeah, just exciting stuff.
Yeah,
very hopeful for the future. I mean, there will always be arguments. There will always be girls in video games that people get angry about. There will always be bullshit EA stuff, but there will always be really good games.
And I don't mean to sound like a Sony fanboy. I probably have this entire time, but can I get one more meme in?
Yeah.
When I saw like the Spider-Man thing, all I could think about was that line from the movie where J. Jonah Jameson's like, "I want Spider-Man," and like that's just Xbox right now. Give me Spider-Man.
I remember when Red Dead 2 came out, one of my favorite tweets was like, everyone deleting games off of their PS4, and it was a picture of James Franco, and he's like, I have nothing now, except for Spider-Man. But thank you, everyone, for joining us on this little talk. Jarrett, do you have anything you want to say lastly?
No, you know, whatever you're going with next gen, I hope you enjoy it, whether it's PC or these new consoles.
Yeah, whatever games you're playing, I hope that they're fun and that they look good.
Lots to look forward to. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye. Kill your mom.